All right, shalom, everyone, and welcome to today's Israel Update. My name is Joseph Good. I live in the Houston, Texas area. We have our regulars, Gila Trebich from Jerusalem, and many of you have known Gila personally, and if you don't, you want to. Okay, and we have Roy Shaposhnik, and Roy, you've been with us on these updates from the very beginning. And you are the Deputy Brigade Commander of the Reserve Barak Brigade. You're the head of the Barak Association, and you brought a special guest with you. Would you introduce Yoav for us?
It's a great honor and privilege to have with us Yoav Tilan. Yoav, I'll give you the floor. Come on.
My name is Yoav. I'm a Colonel Reserve. I served in the Barak Brigade when I was in regular career officer. I was deputy commander of the brigade. Later became a brigade commander. That's where I met Shaposhnik for the first time. He was a deputy battalion commander, and we've been, friends ever since. And now, during the war, we met once again at the Barak Brigade, where I was doing my reserve duty. I was an operations officer, planning, several roles, and thank you for having me.
It's a pleasure.
Two questions for Yoav. Yoav, first of all, how many days have you done now in reserves?
Ooh, few hundred.
A couple of hundred.
A few hundred, maybe three. I don't count.
You lost count.
Okay.
Listen,
and what do you do? What do you do in your civilian life?
So I actually relocated to the States, and I was there for 5 years. And we moved back to Israel right before the war, because the kids were already moving back, and they had their army service to do and other things. So at one point we said, we're missing out on all the fun. They were active soldiers.
Literally missing out all the fun.
Yeah,
Yes,
it wasn't our
yes.
plan for them to join the army, and we were in Seattle by then. So it was, and we came home, and the war started a month after. So I was already freelancing. Yeah, I had a few. I come from the industry, from the military industry, so
okay.
I had a few gigs, and then the war started, so it all went away.
If you're brand new to this program, if you're a new viewer, let me explain what the Barak Brigade is. Okay, it is one of the armored forces brigades. The Merkava, right now they use the Merkava Mark IV. Back whenever I first got involved with them, it was the Merkava Mark III. Okay,
Yes.
but
They were just introducing it.
Yes, they were just introducing
They
it.
were just switching to Mark IV. To Mark III, I'm sorry.
To Mark III, right. There were Mark IIs all over the place.
From the shots, from the old tanks and Turians.
Now, we're talking tank talk, okay? We're Mark II, Mark III, Mark IV, and people are going, I don't know what that is. But the Merkava is a Israeli designed tank, Israeli built tank. And I believe, and in Jane's a book on military hardware claims the Merkava Mark IV is the #1 battle tank in the world. And so the Barak Brigade is one of the elite brigades of the Israeli army and of the armored forces. All right. So now let's get into what's happening.
Let's start with the brigade itself. So the brigade is still in the south part of Israel. We are still on the yellow line, keeping the yellow line between Hamas and Israel.
In Gaza,
correct. a lot of work, as you all remember since our previous conversations, a lot of attempts by Hamas to try to sneak in and to dig tunnels and to try to create more and more terror activities.
Just today, there was an incident.
Correct.
Yeah.
In the morning, that is true. But having saying that, the 53rd Battalion has been moved this Saturday, and they have been shifted their mission from the south. They went up to the north and to assist the IDF over there. I personally believe that it's only a matter of time when the chief of the army will decide that he wants the 188 to join up in the north.
The entire brigade.
The
Yeah.
entire brigade. You all need to remember that the primary battle right now is with Iran, and Lebanon is the secondary. And if
Right.
you're looking at Gaza, it's the secondary. So there is not much of attention over there from the IDF. That's, by the way, the reason they are keeping us over there, because they want to keep on high tense and the proper military respond and not bringing the reserve. But the minute that Lebanon will become the primary, which I believe will happen soon, there is no doubt that we will be called up and we will move up to the north.
Okay. Now, what is going to be the transition? What's going to cause it to go from Iran being the primary to Hezbollah, Lebanon being the primary?
First of all, I think it's President Trump.
Right. His decision.
His decision. Look, and again, based on what we know,
Well, that'll happen indirectly, because
Correct.
I don't think he's making the calls on Lebanon, but he is making the calls on what's going on further east in Iran. So once he decides and shares his decision with us, it'll trickle down. And I think,
Again, there's good coordination.
there is great coordination. I think we didn't had something like that ever
No.
before. And obviously, the main attention now is to minimize the threat of the ballistic missiles towards Israel. So the Israeli Air Force, together with the American Air Force, are literally hunting the launcher
Launchers.
and trying to minimize the amount of attacks that are going towards Israel. This is the point to say that if you're looking what happened last year on the 12 days war, when they launched a significant amount of missiles at the same time, right now we are talking about 1 or 2 missiles in one attack, meaning that our air defense has enough capabilities and skills to take it off and to eliminate this threat. The number of missiles that is being shot towards us also is being reduced, even though today we had some 7 or 8 alarms, but still, it's not the same threat that we had last year. I believe that the minute we will be able to take off the ballistic missile threat, the Americans will maintain their grab in Iran, and we will be able to move and to be more focused in Lebanon, which is becoming the serious threat because they are shooting at us, Joe. You can't believe they are shooting. Last week, they shot from Lebanon all the way to Gaza. Okay.
The Hezbollah was shooting all the way to Gaza?
Yeah, 200 kilometers without any, we got spoiled, Joe. Now we are waiting to get the pre-alarm. But when Lebanon is firing at us, we are not getting the pre-alarm.
Right. Well, let's explain what pre-alarm is, okay?
it sounds like an Amber Alert. It sounds like an Amber Alert.
Yeah.
And it basically gives you a few minutes to organize yourself, get near the shelter. You don't have to go to the shelter, but you need to get organized and make your way towards the shelter.
Yeah.
Gives you about 7 to 8 minutes. Joe, it gives you about 8 to 7 minutes to get ready.
Yeah.
Unlike
when they're fired from Iran.
From Iran.
But if they're fired from Lebanon by Hezbollah, there's not that time. You don't get the Amber Alert.
Correct.
You don't
You
get
just give the
any time in the
sirens.
alarm.
Yeah.
Now, if
You
you're
just get
living
the
right next to
sirens.
the border, you are not even getting the alarm, meaning
Right.
you will hear the bomb
Siren, right.
explode. But Yoav and myself, for example, are living in an area that we will have a minute from the alarm to start and then to run to a shelter. Now,
Right,
a
from the
minute to run-
siren to start
Correct.
to go, yeah, to go
Correct.
to a
Yeah.
I
shelter.
think Roy's 60 seconds. I have 90 seconds, I think.
Could
roughly.
be, yeah.
Well,
could be.
I'm spoiled. I have a minute and a half.
Wow,
I
Gila,
know. Time to make coffee.
luxury life. Well
I
done.
know.
So this is something that is becoming something that is a real threat because we got used to. I know it's going to sound weird to the audience. We got used to the alarms or the Amber alarms that we are getting from Iran, but right now with Lebanon, it's a completely different ballgame, and they are keep on shooting at us. I mean, today it was literally 24 hours of drones that are coming up from the north, attacks mainly on the north side, the Golan Heights, Galil Elyon, Galil Ma'aravi. All of those areas are suffering from a continuously threats and attacks. I would not even say every hour. It's something like happen every couple of minutes.
The people
Okay.
are basically sitting in the shelters.
Correct.
Yeah. All right. Now, basically, how do you see this thing playing out the next week uh or say 2 weeks? How's it going to progress?
I will just say before I will hand it over to Yoav, I would just say to our audience something that is important for them to understand and realize. It seems to everybody that the war right now is coming only from the air to the ground. It's true when it comes to Iran, but in Lebanon, we all saw in Second Lebanon War that you cannot win only by using the air force, and you
Right.
need to have the ground force ready and to get involved. I personally believe that it's a matter of time until the IDF will definitely will start its military activity inside of Lebanon from the ground itself. Yoav, please elaborate more if you can.
No, I agree. I think what we say in Hebrew, there's no vacuum, right? Like if Hezbollah is there or he's not there, you talked about Syria, it's the same. So the minute that the maneuver starts, it's going to be a game changer. It's gonna look different than what we have currently. So I think for the short term, it's going to be the same. What happened last week and what's going to happen this week will probably happen next week, right? Maybe till Passover. But at some point, if we can't make the Lebanon government fill that void, that gap, then we'll probably have to do it. And the means to doing that is ground maneuver, unlike what's happening in Iran, although I'm hearing rumors that there might be an offensive ground maneuver. I don't know to what scale, what size, but if Lebanon as the sovereignty doesn't fix the problem in South Lebanon towards Israel, we'll probably have to do it for ourselves. So
I understand
we've seen the maneuver. We've seen
450,000
that happen
reserves.
last year. It's lots of friction.
I understand 450,000 reserves are being called up. Is that correct?
Gradually.
Yeah, gradually. Okay. Is there a chance in Lebanon that France might get involved?
The French government has been very
It's a-
active, mainly.
That's a joke. That's a joke. Huh?
That's a joke. Okay.
Well,
Yeah.
if they send troops, I'll go there too. So I have to see it. So
Cameron is being very active in the fact that he is warning Israel to damage any kind of civilian infrastructure in Lebanon. But having saying all of that, we understand that if you want to move the Lebanon government to be more aggressive in front of Hezbollah, you need to show them that there is a cost. there is a price for the fact that they are not really stopping Hezbollah. But remember, there is also what we've spoke in our previous shows, the Shi'im versus the Shi'im. At the end of the day, the Hezbollah is a Shi'i group and the Lebanon army is a Shi'i group itself. And the soldier at the end, he will be more active to the person that will pay him the highest amount. So there is also money involved over here. I don't see Qatar money here as it was in Gaza, but definitely I can see that the French and the European Union are trying to get more involved, specifically in Lebanon, unlike in Iran. The question at the end of the day, what will happen first? With Israel will start the maneuver, or will Lebanon government will stop Hezbollah? My personal opinion is
They
that we
don't
will
know how to
find
fight. They don't know how
Who?
to fight.
the Lebanon.
The Lebanese army doesn't know how to fight. The French don't know how to fight, and the British forgot how to fight. So,
Yeah,
I mean,
but you heard Trump about the British. He's not Churchill.
He's not one?
yes, I know.
He's not Churchill.
Winston Churchill.
Yeah.
Yeah.
But it's definitely a very interesting period of time.
Yeah, yeah.
And I have to tell you, as a person that his two brothers and parents are living up in the north, in Metula and Kfar Giladi, I can
Oh
tell
my
you one
God.
thing. Yeah, and they are not
Wow.
willing to evacuate. I can tell you one important thing. All the people that I'm talking from the north are willing to spend another 6, 8, a year of their life under continuously missiles and threats, but they're asking only for one thing. They're asking for this time, get it over. And
Yeah,
Done. Get
it done.
Yeah.
Finish the job. Finish
Yeah.
the job.
I think that all of us are in agreement there that both with Iran, with Hezbollah, and in the south with Hamas, the
Correct.
job has to be finished.
Correct.
And if you go to a negotiating table, until it's finished, you're going to be doing this again within a few years.
100%. 100%.
Yeah.
And it's weird also to see what goes on in Syria, because you see all of a sudden a kind of a movement of the Syrian regime that is trying to get into a conflict with Hezbollah, which is also a big headache, because we all remember Assad back in the days that his vision was to have little Syria, big Syria, and he wanted to conquer Lebanon. So all of a sudden, it seems like a very regional idea to send the Syrian regime to fight Lebanon, but we might find ourselves with something that is bigger than that. So it's a big
Facing-
headache in our neighborhood.
Yeah. Plus, they're suddenly they started again attacking the Druze.
Yes, yes, yes,
So,
definitely.
I've got 3 questions.
Yes.
2 of them deal with the Arab states around. The third deals with Turkey. Okay, so the Arab states, Saudi Arabia, Qatar, Emirates, they're all being attacked by Iran. They all talk, but do you think they're actually going to get involved in the fight themselves? That's one question. And second question concerning the Arab states is, do you see this as a move towards the Arab states and Israel working more publicly in cooperation?
So I think if I had to bet, I would say Qatar, no. No. Emirates, probably not. Saudi, maybe. In the right conditions, perhaps.
Now, you're talking about attacking.
Right. Well, contributing actively in the fight against Iran.
Right. Okay.
but guys, which one of them has an army?
all
First
do.
of all, the Saudis has an
The
army.
Saudis have an army.
And the
yeah.
Emirates have decent force. They have
Yes.
technology and
Yeah, I know.
yeah.
But
So
they have no experience in fighting.
half of the job is just saying, hey, I'm in war with you, right?
Yeah.
Okay.
That's half of
Okay.
it.
But
They haven't-
I must say my opinion that I think the Saudis are going to attack the Houthis very soon. The Houthis has announced, by the way, Joe, they are your friends. We spoke about them last time
Yeah.
that they are not joining. So the Houthis has announced that they are going to join very soon into the
Yeah.
conflict itself.
Yeah.
I think that will be something that the Saudis will take upon themselves.
Good.
That'd be good.
It would be. Now, do you think that this is going to lead to a closer Arab-Israeli working together, not only behind the scenes, but out in public, openly, them accepting Israel, Abraham Accords, all of that?
So I will tell you about that something. The Saudi Arabians are seriously considering to start using the land fuel oil convoys towards the port of Ashdod and Haifa in
Right.
order to overcome this
it's the
obstacle of
road.
the Hormuz area.
Yeah, it's the road. Actually, it's a railroad that's being
Correct.
built as we are speaking,
Correct.
starting in India.
I think it's inevitable. I think to your question, it's inevitable. That's the grand scheme. That's the highest strategy.
Yes.
Is strengthening America, the U.S. This is part of it. This is a major part of it. And
Yeah.
if you
Right.
I don't know if you've heard, but before 1979, there was a huge deal between Israel and Iran for the oil pipe to go on land.
Katsa.
And then they actually sued us after the revolution for not coming through on our side. But that's just the funny part. So yeah, I think that was always the plan, right? That was
Yeah.
always when Iran was pro-Western, pro-America, pro-Israel. That was the plan. So I think the Abraham Accords, that's the higher strategy of everything that's going on right now in that region.
Okay. So we've got the war with Iran. Right now, it's kind of tense with some of the missile barrages, some of the missile attacks. Iran striking further than threatening Central Europe. Iran threatening hitting the oil reserves and so forth, and the retaliation. We have the pending ground attack into Lebanon. We have everything's happening all at once. What are some of the things that this audience could help with?
It's a good question. We believe that we will be called up very soon. So we are still working very intense, getting ready. We're working on the tanks, we're working on the disciplines, we're working about the manpower, and we are preparing ourselves. In our last show, we spoke about the fact that we need stretchers, and you guys supported, and that was extremely helpful. The focus right now is about going back into ballistic helmets and going back into bulletproof vests, going back into the medical
Wow.
kits, because we understand that we're going to re-enter and we need all of that. Yes, we still have plenty of the things that we got from you guys during our last session, but having saying that, we always need to have new
More.
equipment and more equipment, more and more. I remind you all.
It also wears out.
Correct.
With
It's
usage,
also-
things wear out. You can't
Absolutely.
use it for
You
20
made a
years.
statement earlier about Hezbollah that in the time since Israel was in there, and since that they haven't been just sitting there, they've been busy getting ready for the fight.
Absolutely.
We need to do the same. We need to be
do the same.
preparing because the fight's coming.
Correct.
And that's where the people can, their donations go to things that are literally needed for the life of the soldiers and all of those things.
As always, any donation that is coming from you guys is going directly to the soldier up in the field. Everything that we are getting from you, immediately we purchase it from our suppliers through the brigade, and we are handing it over to the soldiers based on the demand that is coming from the field. And of course, as I said it in the previous sessions, and I will say it again, your support to us is highly appreciated. It saves people's lives. And without you, I can tell you that we would probably be in a different place. But thanks to your support, we are winning, and we still need your support.
Well, I want to mention about GLC. Corey Adams, who is in charge there. And Corey is usually behind the scenes running each of these updates. Today he's not. I'm kind of doing it from and going to send it to him. But they have never charged us a penny for any of these. Okay. The money that you donate, we don't take any from it. Every bit of it goes directly to Israel. The only thing that we pay for out of it is there is a $40 wire fee. And that's the only thing. There is no. So when you give money, no, it's not going to some administration or anything like that. There's
There's no
nothing like
overhead at all. You're
No.
looking at the administration.
Yeah, that's it. Yeah. Yeah. But your donations have made a tremendous difference. And I'll tell you another thing is that if you watch any news at all, you hear cries against Israel and anti-Semitism and all of these various things. And when Israel is at war, then Israel frequently feels alone. And your donations say you aren't alone. And that is that's as big a difference as actually the money you give too. I mean, it's just tremendous. Yoav, you have anything that you would like to say before we close?
No, I appreciate the effort. I appreciate the donations.
The support is
The support is
tremendously
huge.
important. Yeah.
And we feel it right at the tip of the spear. So that's amazing. And I'm so happy and so proud to be invited and to be on your show. So thank you.
Gila, Roy?
The viewers of GLC have been such a faithful supporter of Israel. It really makes a tremendous difference.
Yeah.
Like Joe said, we have very few friends, and everyone is very, very important to us. And you've been amazingly incredible.
You can go
So
to
thank
David
you.
Fund
Thank you.
or go to the little icon in the corner to make your contribution. Roy, take us out.
Thank you very much. As I said to you all the time, and when everything will over, you're more than welcome to come to visit us and to meet the people, and we can say thank you in person. So toda rabba and shalom.
Bye.
Shalom.
We love you.
Shalom, shalom.